The roots were terrible when we were putting in this underground buried downspout. We were chopping out a lot of roots. There's a silver maple growing right in the middle of this yard, and it's just getting started. It's rooted in and it's well on its way. They're aggressive trees. They crush pipes of any kind. Our number one goal is to build our customers an underground buried downspout system, French drain, yard drain, sump pump discharge line that will last them a lifetime. We spare no expense. When you want it done right the first time, give French Drain Man a call. Now you can see that in spite of the high cost of this root preventer, that we generously apply this root preventer. All right, you can see that we have an aggressive tree right here. Really aggressive, fast grower. A lot of roots, a lot of suckers. You can see what the guys did. They went ahead. They put in copper sulfate. Copper sulfate is going to push those roots away. They won't choke the pipe. They won't crush the pipe. You can see right there, we went under some anchoring roots. This is a beautiful install by a professional crew. They went ahead and used the black turf restrictor. It gets lost in the landscape. Really like that. We had to core this. We had to core this to get through. There's some bluestone here. You can see that there's some wet set, some concrete. We went through that. We'll put some self-leveling in there. Our 3-inch plus goes under there so nice. Just beautiful job. Matter of fact, what the guys did is they went ahead and they got a 4-to-3 reducer right here. And they just went ahead and just did a sweeping 90 with the 3-inch plus. They did a beautiful job. I love that. That'll get lost in the shadows. Again, this tree is going to be trouble. This tree would crush the pipe. It'll crush any pipe in the future if you don't put down copper sulfate. Then we got a green pop up here to match the grass, and it's kicked down. The French Drain Man's not quite a 90, kicks the nose of it down. You want this to be lower than here. You want to direct the water away. Beautiful job, perfect install. This crew's attention to detail is like no other. When you want it done right the first time, give us a call. These guys, they get it right. The guys did a beautiful job putting this bluestone back together right where they went ahead and cored through this walk. This bluestone is wet set and it's set on concrete. So the guys had to core through that. It's a beautiful job. Again, we used the black turf restrictor plate on our inline sediment trap with a solid cover. That'll just get lost in the landscape. Beautiful work by a professional crew. If you found any of this information helpful, give us a thumbs up. It supports the channel. If you have any questions regarding this installation, leave them in the comments section. Tree roots are the number one enemy to any drainage system. You have to go to great lengths to keep those tree roots from clogging your system. We have a beautiful example of an underground buried downspout system. Let me show you all the components. We have the leaf filter. It's also a downspout adapter to 4-inch pipe. This fits in 4-inch anything. It could be PVC Schedule 40, could be PVC thin wall, could be triple wall, anything. Single wall corrugated, dual wall. This is a dual wall, 12-inch riser. Notice how high the guys are with this line. Look at how high this line is. That's done right. Always start this as high as you possibly can get it. That way you can get some slope. So this is sloped super hard to the catch basin. It is so exaggerated. And I love that. There's just barely enough dirt to cover that. That's how shallow that line is. This is textbook. This is perfect. This is what you want. Hard slope right to your catch basin. This catch basin didn't need any risers where it sits. They drilled some holes in it. They went ahead and put drainage fabric under it and then some pea stone. We have a coupler that connects the 3-inch Pro to the basin. Look at how well that's taped up. Spare no expense when it comes to taping up these fittings, especially with tree roots like you see. The blue that you see is copper sulfate. Copper sulfate is going to push the roots away. It will push the roots away. That's what we want. We could see that in the future, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, these roots are going to start to choke this pipe. Not when you do this. Generously sprinkle some copper sulfate. This is beautiful. We had to go under this one sprinkler line. Unfortunately, sometimes you're forced to make this hard decision. Do I go over it or do I go under it? The guys had to go under it to maintain their slope. And they had to go a little deeper all of a sudden than they would have really wanted. The nice thing is the 3-inch pipe allowed them to go under it. They didn't have to cut that sprinkler line. Huge advantage when you're not cutting up somebody's sprinkler system. Beautiful pop-up right here. The nose of it is kicked down. Again, this is not quite a 90. Now this pop-up, because we had to go under that one line, this pop-up needed to be on a couple risers. Let me show you what that looks like. Actually, there's one riser on that pop-up that gives it a 2-inch bump. Again, these risers, they have this ring, so when you backfill this and the dirt is up against this riser, this ring gets caught in the dirt. So when you pull this off, if you ever need to, you don't take the riser with it. No screws hold that on. It's just a slip fit. Our entire system clicks together, slips together beautifully. There's never been an underground buried downspout kit that would allow you such ease of install. Honestly, this is our Gen 4. It took us a few years to get here, but we're really happy with it. There's nothing left to improve upon. This is perfection. This is the perfect underground buried downspout kit. You're looking at 24 feet of the 3-inch Pro. This pipe is on the larger side for 3-inch pipe. In its class, it's the largest 3-inch pipe. We had to make a special fitting just to make all these connections. This is a beautiful job by a professional crew. When you want it done right the first time, give French Drain Man a call. This is beautiful. Copper sulfate crystals. That is trees' kryptonite. This will push roots away. Not just prevent them, but push them away. Copper sulfate crystals. I buy these in big bags. I go to the elevator where farmers go for their fertilizer. That's where you're going to find this type of thing. If you get a big bag like this, it's pretty affordable. It goes a long way. So I'm going to put a couple cups of copper sulfate. I'm going to do a treatment so that I can get the roots, the tree roots, out of my French drain system. I got a bag of copper sulfate crystals here. I buy a big bag from the elevator. I'll show you guys how we go ahead and put this in our French drain system to keep out the roots. All right, we have this really nice maple tree right here. I don't want to cut it down. This is a drain system that's on my property, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to keep that tree from rooting into my French drain system. Got 2 cups of copper sulfate in here, probably a few gallons of water. Mixes it up real easy, it's hassle-free. So I have a 6-inch grate here. These, you just take a narrow flathead screwdriver, you literally just go ahead and pop the lid. This is a grate because I'm collecting surface water. This is a pothole in my yard. But if I was building this just for this treatment, I just have a solid cover on here if I didn't need it for collecting surface water. The basin already had a little bit of debris in there. No big deal. It's doing its job. But I want to pour this copper sulfate solution in every catch basin. The reason why I want several gallons is my catch basins are going to hold a gallon by themselves. Yeah, they have holes drilled in them. It'll slowly leach into the subsoil. But I want to be able to pour enough in to where we actually get some that starts down the trench. So this is how I'm going to keep tree roots out of my system. And I want to speed load this. All right, so I just overwhelmed the system basically with some copper sulfate. We're going to do this to each catch basin that's near this big tree. Now, there's no screws to this, and that was by design. I hated screws. They get lost in the leaves, they get lost in the grass. I spent a lifetime dealing with that. So everything we made is just a pressed fit. You can just literally just step on it, that's it. So now we just got to go mix up another batch for the next catch basin. Here, copper sulfate. Buy it in bulk. Buy it in bulk. It doesn't sting nearly as much. Any elevator where you can buy grass seed, where farmers go to buy their fertilizer. Inexpensive big funnel on Amazon. Even these 5.5 gallon fuel tanks for racing, they're inexpensive on Amazon. So about 2 cups of the copper sulfate crystals. The copper sulfate, this is going to push the roots away. The tree roots absolutely hate this. The more often you do this treatment, the better off your system will be if your French drain is near a big tree. This is a requirement. There's no really getting around this. Otherwise, the tree is going to fill your French drain over time. So I probably got, I don't know, a few gallons, maybe, yeah, 4 gallons it's showing. It's a 5.5 gallon can. We'll go fill another catch basin with some copper sulfate. However big their canopy is, that's how far out their roots are going to go, always. So again, just a small slot-headed screwdriver. Super easy to pick up the 6-inch grate, pull it out. And again, I like to speed load this. Like, I like to try to overwhelm the catch basin and the system because I want this solution to work its way down the French drain. I don't do this if there's a big rain coming up. I don't do that. I want this to hang around. I actually wait till it's more of a drought season and you have, you know, smaller, lighter rains to work the solution through the system. Try not to do the treatment when you know you have big storms coming up because it's kind of pointless. It's just going to dilute it and wash it away. But everybody has a drought season. I highly recommend this during the drought season or during the times of the year where you just have light rains. So about 2 cups. A big funnel with no screen. Again, just copper sulfate crystals. They dissolve real easy in water. Couple cups. So this is a really good idea if you're a contractor. You got a maintenance truck on the ground. You got 2 men in a maintenance truck taking care of your homeowners, all the jobs you install. Add this to your service because a lot of homeowners don't want to be bothered with this. And it's super easy to do. On Amazon, these 5.5 gallon, you know, speed fuel tanks, you can buy 3 of them at a very reasonable rate. A 3-pack. These will mix the copper sulfate really well for you. I've never had a problem with this. All right, we'll go do another one, another catch basin. All right, a little bonus footage. Everybody wants to know, do I take the whole cover off, or can I just take a screwdriver, pop the center out? And the answer is yes. That's how this was designed. I like a big flat-headed screwdriver for our 4-inch plate, and you have to use a small narrow one for our 6-inch plate. Well, this catch basin's doing its job. We already got a lot of shingle gravel that would have ended up in the dry well. And by the way, it's dry. There's no water, no standing water in it. But we drilled some little holes in the bottom. And this is the catch basin right before my dry well. Now this is the exact same as a 6-inch, where it's a press fit. Literally, you can just take your foot, just go ahead, press it back in, done. And again, when you're gonna clean this, take a big slot-headed screwdriver, just turn it, that's it. No screws. Screws get lost. Screws are a pain, trust me. Spent a lifetime dealing with them. Screws suck. So that's why all of our stuff's a press fit. Super easy. Nothing to maintain in it. You can stick a shop vac in there to suck that stuff out if you don't want to put your hand in there. 4 gallons is about perfect. Copper sulfate crystals dissolve in water without much effort. You have it in a can like this, 4 gallons of water in a 5.5 gallon speed fuel can. We got 6-inch grates, so I'm taking a really narrow slot-headed screwdriver so I can pop the grates. It's probably 60 feet away. I will treat up to 75 feet away. I will keep treating the system. Now, if you're not collecting surface water and you just have trees, put in our 4-way connect catch basin with the solid cover. You don't need the grate. It's a pretty new system, so there's not a lot in the catch basins. So you want to just unscrew the vent. We shook it up pretty good. Take the top off. We want to just speed load it. We want to overwhelm it. So pretty much go as fast as it'll possibly come out. Overwhelm the system, because we want that to make its way down the French drain. All right. Now when you put your 4-inch or 6-inch grate back on, or solid cover, that's all you got to do is just step on it. So this is how you keep roots out of your French drain system. Just do a copper sulfate treatment every 3 months. This will also kill all the mosquito larvae in your yard drain system. All right, so everything that you guys seen in this video, this was that VP Racing 5.5 gallon speed fueling can, you know, the copper sulfate crystals, and then the basins that you've seen both by the dry well and in the yard drain French drain were on a 4-way connect catch basin. So I absolutely love these. If you do a quad pack French drain by trees, put these on with a solid cover just to do your copper sulfate treatments. All right, everybody, if you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. It supports the channel. If you have any videos that you want me to make, leave it in the comment section. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood, and until the next video.